Hey, everybody, this is Eric Diamond, and you're listening to The Mike Wagner Show.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios.
Hi, this is Mia Mosinzia, also known as Mia No Time for Love. Check out my latest book, Missing, available on Amazon.
The Mike Wagner Show, also brought to you by The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, available on Amazon. Highlight the Book of David.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios, brought to you by our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author, Mia Mosinzia Missing, available on Amazon, coming soon, Missing 2 by Mia Mosinzia, double the suspense, double the fun, check it out on Amazon. Also brought us Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, now on Amazon, keyword Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner, and the Sensei Swing, Eric Diamond, with the latest release, All of Me, now on ericdiamondmusic.com, and on your favorite podcast platform. Check it out today. We're here with an amazing lady who's a singer-songwriter based outside Toronto and began a award-winning career at 19, winning Canadian Open Country Singing Contest, and also collabed with Johnny Cash, June Carter, Randy Bachman, Anne Murray, and moved to Nashville and met and married a wonderful melody man. We'll talk about that. And with later 10 plus international releases, various film and TV placements, winner of numerous awards, and also help raise funds and awareness for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. We'll be talking about the latest releases, Avalanche, Messed Up World, and more. Live, ladies and gentlemen, Plus Studios, somewhere outside Toronto, the amazing multi-talented singer, songwriter, award-winning multi-talented artist, Tia McGraff. Tia, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Hello, Mike. It's so good to be here. Thank you. Finally, we've scheduled this so many times, and then there's been always life gets in the way, doesn't it? Though, so I'm happy to be here.
It does. You're right, and of course, you managed to connect. That's how winners do. They manage to navigate the waters and everything like that. Persistence. I think people need to learn that, which is great. So you're a singer-songwriter based outside Toronto, and you began a award-winning career at 19, winning Canadian Open Country Singing Contest. You also collabed with Johnny Cash, June Carter, Randy Bachman, Anne Murray, and more. You moved to Nashville. You met and married melody man Tommy Parham, and also have released over 10 international releases, various film, TV placements, and winner of numerous awards. You help raise funds and awareness for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. We got a number of releases like Jules Cafe, Outside the Circle, Day in My Shoes, and more. We'll be talking about a couple of releases we plan at the end of the audio interview. Encourage everybody to do that. Before we get started, Tia, tell us how you first got started.
Well, I first started singing when I was a little girl, and my grandmother had immigrated to Canada from Transylvania, and she had the most beautiful voice, and she was my inspiration. And also my mom was a school teacher, and she played piano and taught me piano and everything. And so I wanted to go into the singing contest, and my mom lined me up with Maureen Dodd, who was the music teacher at the school my mom was teaching at. And Maureen, her son ended up being, her sons were Rory Dodd, who was in Meatloaf.
Oh, yes. Love Meatloaf. Love Meatloaf.
And Cal Dodd, who had a show up here called Circus. And so I was so blessed to have the most amazing music teacher right off the bat grab a hold of me and say, well, let's see if you can sing or not. And I was like 10 years old. And so at the end of my first vocal lesson, Maureen said, yeah, I think she's got something here. I'll work with her. So I just kept going into contests. And then, like you mentioned, I won the Canadian Open Country Singing Contest. And from there, I received some recording time at a local recording studio in Niagara Falls, some money. I bought myself a guitar, taught myself 3 chords, wrote a song, ended up on the radio. And then I ended up on this TV show in Toronto with Johnny Cash and June Carter on it, and had the opportunity to meet them. Johnny actually invited me into June's dressing room to meet her.
Oh my goodness, that's sweet. He's one of the best entertainers out there.
Absolutely. And 2 of the most beautiful human beings you've ever want to meet. They were so humble and kind and gracious. and they just made this little girl feel so welcome into the music industry. So I never looked back from there. I just, poured my heart and soul into it, and ended up moving to Nashville. I released some CDs and videos up here in Canada, wrote with people like Randy Bachman, and then I moved to Nashville and decided to really pursue my songwriting, you know, top notch, sit in a room with top notch writers, and that's how I met Tommy as well. He had moved. He's from Colorado, and he had moved from LA with a publishing deal already in hand.
Okay.
So yeah, one of the few songwriters that I know has that opportunity.
You also collabed with Anne Murray as well, too, to an extent.
Yeah, I had Anne Murray's had set up a publishing company, and up here in Toronto and down in Nashville. And so I was working with her, my manager at the time, her financial manager, and he landed me a song publishing deal with that. So I had 14 songs published with her company. It also opened doors to songwriting opportunities both up here and down in Nashville. So it was a wonderful, wonderful company, wonderful people to work with. You couldn't go wrong, as a young upcoming songwriter and
Hmm.
artist.
And one of the best songbirds out there, too. I've been a fan of Anne Murray for God
Absolutely.
knows how long. Oh, my gosh.
Absolutely.
She's in the Canadian Hall of Fame for music, isn't she, or not yet?
I believe so, and I believe they were just at the recent Junos. I believe they were inducting her as well. So she when you go back, and when I moved to Nashville, I had every songwriter down there has a day job, and one of my day jobs, I taught music at a Lutheran school, but the other one was working at the Hall of Fame. And it was so enlightening. And I would my job was to walk along the floor and make sure nobody's brought water bottles up and spilled it on the floor, and
Oh, yeah.
and one of the displays, they had the wall with platinum albums, and on there was Anne Murray. And I was just seeing how beautiful that was. There's not a lot of Canadian artists on that platinum wall.
Right,
Um,
yeah. And of course, you have a number like Randy Bachman from Bachman Turner Overdrive, and of course, Rush in the rock sense, but also Gordon Lightfoot actually comes to mind, one of the best Canadian songwriters out there.
Well, right. And they're more in the rock folk, you'll see them in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame or whatever. But in Nashville, and, it was just delightful to see Anne Murray up there recognized as one of the all-time great country female artists. And of course, she crossed over into pop as well. So just a wonderful role model.
And certainly one of the best in the business. And what was that one exact precise moment that simply influenced you into what you do in the rest of your career?
Absolutely, absolutely. And you mentioned Rush. Oh my goodness, one of my favorite all-time bands. I've seen
Yes,
like
best in the
three
business.
of their
Yes.
concerts. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yeah.
Hmm. And I think there was also another country artist. I'm trying to remember who it is. She hailed from Canada, not Shania Twain, but I'm trying to think of somebody else along the lines. And I think I'll get to that part in a minute.
Alanis Morissette. We had Alanis Morissette. We had just so many wonderful, wonderful. Celine
Okay.
Dion. Oh my
And,
goodness.
and I think there's another somewhere along those lines, but a little, I'll figure that out in just a minute, I'm sure. And besides some of the others, who are some of other favorite singers, songwriters, and musicians growing up?
Joni Mitchell, Linda Ronstadt, of course. And then I remember the time Tommy and I were living in Nashville, and we had just decided to start touring. And I had an opportunity to write with Andrew Gold while I was living in Nashville. It was just amazing. And then we were in Tucson, and we had a chance to play at Bobby Kimmel's house concert. Of course, Bobby Kimmel was quite involved in Linda Ronstadt's career, and so we've just had the wonderful opportunity to meet and work with so many inspiring, iconic people, that it becomes part of who you do and what you do, right? And so that's what I encourage other songwriters out there. Nowadays, I don't know if it's encouraged so much to co-write. or to network so much because, you can do everything from home in your studio, whatever, over the internet. But I encourage other young upcoming writers and artists to really get out there and reach out to other notables that you might admire and connect with them if you can.
I think that's really important as well too. And of course, you also create your own connections as well too with your own music. We'll talk about Avalanche, Messed Up World, be playing at the end of the show, audio interview. Encourage you to do that and more. Tia McGraff. But first, you listen to the Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios. Visit online at SoundCloudStudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give an official shout out to our official sponsor, the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon, paperback, and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is illusion and those who love you to first go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews. And Evil Evan enjoys by Howard celebrities, including Joanna Cassie, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Virgo's Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also brought to you by Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of David, including 30 exquisite paintings and King David's Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives a new perspective of David through the Psalms he wrote his time as a shepherd where it started and complicated a turbulent relationship with King Saul. Story of love, betrayal, repentance, hope, and more. Check out The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner on Amazon. Keyword Sweet Psalmist Serena Wagner. Also brought by a Sensei Swing, Eric Diamond was his latest release, All of Me, featuring the title track, I've Got a New Heartache, Bring Me Sunshine, Strike a Match, and more. Eric's a multi-award winning artist, inducted in numerous Hall of Fames. Entertainer Album of the Year, and has a new CD coming out soon. Check out the amazing Eric Diamond at ericdiamondmusic.com. Also follow on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, and more. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. 40 podcast platforms, 100 countries. Take us with you on any mobile device. For great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast, t-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, hoodies. Makes great gifts 24/7. Go to Amazon.com. Check out the Mike Wagner Show podcast. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com/Mia Molson-Zia for great books, merchandise, and more. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, iHeart, Apple Music, and more, as well as Spreaker, and support us on Anchor FM, PayPal, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. We hear the amazing singer-songwriter based outside Toronto with award-winning career, Tia McGraff, here on the Mike Wagner Show. We talk about the numerous collaborations with Johnny Cash, June Carter, Randy Bachman, and Maria Moore. You've got your own music as well, too. We'll play a couple of them at the end of the show. But first, you've got some releases like Jules Cafe, Outside the Circle, and tell us more about those.
Well, we've Tommy and I are just released a couple singles. Our last EP release was called With Love, and we on there we won a couple of songwriting awards. One was with the song called Go Your Own Way that we wrote with Kevin Fisher from LA. And we won social justice category of the year at the Empower Music Awards in Kansas. And the other one was called Nighthawk that we won. Tommy and I wrote together, and we won the Peace Award with that one. Before that, we had Stubborn in My Blood, and that was kind of my tribute to my family roots. And yeah, so we've recorded so many albums over the years. We've traveled around the world making our music. Just really grateful for the longevity that we've had. When we met and married in Nashville, we were just pursuing our songwriting, and at that point, and I had kind of turned my back on my artist thing. And a friend of ours, Mark Slaughter, you'll know Slaughter from the group Slaughter.
Oh yes, one of my favorites. That's right.
Yeah, so Mark is a good friend of ours, and we were over at Mark's one day playing some songs, and he said, Tia, you should really start singing again and get back out there as an artist. And so I said, well, you know what, it's always in my heart, but I don't know. And so we just took the step, and Tommy and I started recording albums. We got out there. Next thing we know, we're touring England and Scotland and Wales and all over the States and everything.
Oh, wow.
And everywhere we went, we kind of collected from what our fans, I call them our tribe, are the feedback we got on the songs or what we connected with them the most. And then we would go home back to Nashville and try to capture those little snapshots in our songs. So each album kind of tells a different snapshot picture of where we were at the time. Crazy Beautiful is one of my favorite albums. And it's got the song Crazy Beautiful on it, which I include in my children's book, Jake the Road Dog. And so which we can talk a little bit about that. So the new songs, Avalanche and Messed Up World, I think you're going to play at the end, and
Correct,
there's a
yes.
story behind each of those as well.
Okay. And what you're saying about that children's book, I'd like to hear more about that one.
Yeah, so when we were living in Nashville, we love dogs and cats, and we adopted a shelter dog, husky, and we named him Jake.
Okay.
And when we brought him home, he was so broken. He was like his tail wouldn't wag, and we thought literally it was a broken tail. We didn't think it would wag, and he didn't. And he sat in front of the TV and wouldn't eat. He just stared at us until I put spaghetti in his mouth, and we ended up taking him on the road with us. And through becoming part of the family, and he just turned into a different dog. He was just so beautiful and so happy. And I've never had a dog that was just so loved being in the car like Jake. So we ended up taking him to El Paso, Texas, all the way up to Nova Scotia, everywhere in between. He went on the road with us, and he would sit between us on stage, on festivals and, intimate clubs, whatever. People started sending him fan mail and we'd get requests. So you're bringing Jake. So one day I thought this would make a great kids book, The Life of a Musician Told Through the Road Dog's Eyes.
Nice, nice.
Making
Oh my
music,
gosh.
making friends on the road, finding the song in your heart, let yourself be crazy beautiful. And of course, I put in 3 songs that we've written in the book. So through that, it's just been a beautiful journey. I'm working on the second book, and through that, we decided to start donating a portion of our proceeds to our local Dolly Parton Imagination Library and some local humane societies as well. So it's been a beautiful journey. Just, I love it.
And certainly indeed as well too. And you've done that for quite some time. A bit more about that. The Dolly Parton Imagination Center. That is so fascinating.
It is. It's really, well, I just love Dolly. I mean, my goodness, who couldn't love Dolly? You can't say her name without smiling, right? And so she's got this program, the Dolly Parton Imagination Library, and you can find it online, and I'm sure you can find your local chapter to donate to. And they get they get books into the hands of kids who who maybe can't afford to go out and buy books. And it's just a wonderful program. It encourages reading. And now, unfortunately, I hear that some libraries are going to be shut down. So it's
Oh,
more
it's too
important.
bad.
It is, right? Both sides of the border. So I think it's more important than ever that we keep encouraging children to read, because it's one of the fastest growing markets in the world is children's books right now. And so that's saying a lot. Kids still love to hold a book in their hands and read. And I'm just really blessed to be part of that.
And I think it's really important too. I raised 4 kids since '95, and every time they look at a book, it's like, let's pretend this is a book right here, and let's pretend this is a book right here. They can look at it and say, "Hey, I remember reading this way back when," and they can read it again for comfort. Or it's like when they have kids of their own, they can pull out the books and say, "Hey, this is what my mom and dad read. This is what I read back in the day." Have something physical in hand instead of having on a Kindle or whatever. So yeah, it's like it's important to have something in your hand.
Well, I've got sitting right next to me is my whole Laura Ingalls Wilder collection, and that's what I grew up with reading, and Anne of Green Gables, and they still do. They live in your heart forever, don't they? And it doesn't matter how old you are. I remember buying my grandmother a Laura Ingalls Wilder book and a Anne of Green Gables book. And together we sat down and shared stories, shared our thoughts about the book as we read it. And so it really is. And plus we include music in it because I really want to champion the gift of songwriting. That I hope is my legacy, to encourage young kids to find the song in their heart and let themselves be crazy beautiful and tell their own story through the gift of song.
Mm-hmm. And talk about some of the songwriters you have. Who are some other favorite songwriters growing up?
Well, I've had the opportunity, I mentioned, work with Randy Bachman from BTO, Guess Who, Dan Hill, who is an iconic Canadian songwriter.
Mm-hmm.
When I moved to Nashville, I worked with Andrew Gold, Tommy Parham, of course, my husband, and Tommy's a melody man. And when I moved to Nashville, they kind of, at that point, they wanted to say, because they wanted to hook you up with the best collaboration they could. So they would say, are you more of a lyricist or melody person? And I do both. But at the time I said, well, lyrics. I love lyrics. Like I'm really, Joni Mitchell, influenced. So I was hooked up with Tommy Parham through his publisher, and we sat down to write, and immediately we connected. And so we just started writing, and then broke our rule of never date your co-writer.
Then again, don't you break rules all the time at where you're at? It's okay to break them. Yeah.
That's right. Some are meant to be broken. And if it's real. So we had a beautiful time in Nashville and writing with other writers. Tommy's written with Will Rambo, Rob Crosby, Jeffrey Steele. He wrote a song called Rocks You Can't Move, which Lee Greenwood recorded and released on his Stronger Than Time album. Mm-hmm. And we still go out and perform that song, and it's just amazing. Just one of my favorite songs that Tommy's written.
Mm-hmm. And certainly amazing as well, too. And the other songs they wrote as well, too. We'll be playing a couple of them at Tia McGraff. You listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by SoundCloud Studios, brought to you by official sponsor of The Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson's The Missing, available on Amazon, paperback and ebook. The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, based on the life of King David, now on Amazon. Keyword, Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner, and the Sensei of Swing, Eric Diamond, with All of Me on ericdiamondmusic.com and your favorite platform. Back to multi-talented Tia McGraff after this time out.
Hey, everybody, this is Eric Diamond, and you're listening to The Mike Wagner Show.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention The Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hi, I'm Burl Barer, legendary American author, and I'm here to tell you about Missing, the new mystery suspense novel by Mian Mosensia. It's really a good book. Very surprising. Never metaphor I didn't like, especially in this book. Here you have a main character whose life has been filled with despair. His wife died in 9/11. His young daughter died of a rare disease. He's not a happy camper. What does he do for a living? He's a physical fitness trainer. When somebody hardly knows, somebody he's never met, he only has encountered them on an internet chat line, goes missing. This is his journey. He's going to go rescue them. This is his search for redemption, his search for his own personal promised land. He couldn't do anything about the death of his wife, the death of his child, but maybe he could rescue this woman he's never met. That is, if she exists. Missing by Mian Mosensia, international in scope, vastly entertaining, full of surprises. I suggest you get it, either paperback or an electronic edition for your Kindle. Missing by Mian Mosensia.
Hey, everybody, this is Eric Diamond. You're listening to The Mike Wagner Show. You can check out our music and know all about us at www.ericdiamondmusic.com. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok. You can friend me on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook, and you can even buy both of my albums off of Facebook. Just get a hold of me on the Facebook Messenger. We have them available in CD or thumb drive. Thank you so much, and hope you have a great day.
The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Serena Wagner's book, The Sweet Psalmist, now available on Amazon. This book includes 30 exquisite paintings by well-known and unknown painters and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives us a new perspective on his life in this book. Through the Psalms he wrote, his time as a shepherd in the field is where the book starts, and it goes on to describe his complicated and turbulent relationship with King Saul as well as other events. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, and more. It also offers advice on approaching God and living a life that pleases him. Check out the book, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, now available on Amazon. Keywords, Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner.
Hey, this is Ray Powers, and boy, are you in luck. Right place, right time. tuned in to The Mike Wagner Show. You heard me.
We're back to the multi-ton award-winning Tia McGraff here on the Mike Wagner Show. We covered a great deal of her career, working with a number of collaborators. And before we talk about your latest releases we'll be playing, you also had some other ones that are popular. We talked about 110 Soldier, Let 'Em See You Strong. How about Devil's Gold? And tell us more about that one.
Oh, well, yeah, that's a great segue into, yeah. So Devil's Gold, Devil's Gold, we wrote with our friend Henry Priestman from England. And so Tommy and I started touring the UK and Scotland and Wales, and we just loved it over there. We had been over there, every year, sometimes twice a year before the pandemic, and and building up quite a following over there. And while we were there, we had the opportunity to be on Bob Harris, Whispering Bob on BBC. And
Nice.
yeah, and it was just a wonderful opportunity for artists. So through that, some other artists over there, songwriters, heard us on Bob's show, or we met them at some of the functions or some of the festivals. Henry Priestman was one of them. And Henry is just a delightful singer-songwriter. And he had a little cottage up in northern Wales, and he invited us up there to do some writing with him. And off of the coast of this cottage, you could see this little island, and he called it Pop Island. And you imagine where the Beatles hid the scrolls to some of their famed songs that they'd written.
I believe it. I believe it, and it has never been mentioned on the internet, which is a good thing. So
That's right. You heard it first here.
there you go. We don't want anybody to go there, though.
And also, there was a story about a shipwreck that had happened there, and so it inspired us to write the song. And it was so amazing because the shipwreck actually happened, and you can read about it online. And in those days, they had some of the poor people were struggling to make ends meet. So they took a ship down to Australia to look for some gold, and on the way back, they hit these rocks off the coast of Wales, and they were sinking, and some of the people stuffed their pockets with the gold, and that was their demise. They ended up sinking. And so to this day, some of that gold is still at the bottom. And so it inspired us to write the song. And as it happened, the next day we were having lunch at a picnic table outside of a little shop. And this man came up, and we told him about the story. He had planned to be out diving for artifacts. And so he showed up at our gig that night, and he handed me a little piece of a plate that he had discovered at the bottom of the water that day from the shipwreck. And so I brought it home, and it was just like, wow, how serendipitous is that, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That had to be something as well, too. And we'll finally get to Avalanche and Mess Up World. And tell us more about those two songs and what inspired you to write.
So Avalanche, unfortunately, we lost my mom to dementia in 2023. And while she was in the early stages of it, we had been talking to our friend Steve Basalmo over in Wales. And if you want to look up Steve Basalmo, it's Balsamo. He's amazing. He played Jesus in Jesus Christ Superstar. There's an amazing video of him doing the Garden of Gethsemane. And so Steve was going through the same thing with his dad at the time. He was caretaker for his dad, and he was suffering from Alzheimer's and dementia. So we were both sharing stories about the heartache, and Steve was the one who said, Tia, they call it the long goodbye. And so Tommy and Steve and I jumped on Zoom and wrote this song together, just more of a way to share our grieving and our pain, what we were going through. And after my mom had passed and Steve had lost his dad, Tommy and I were listening back to the demo of it. And I said, I really want to put this out there for people who are going through this. It is a horrific, horrific disease. And when you go through it, it really is the long goodbye. And you watch your loved one just withering away. And in some ways, I think it's harder than other diseases because they start losing their their faculties, they start losing their dignity. They don't know how to fight this disease. And that's what happened with my mom at the end. And she just, and so anyway, we recorded a song called Avalanche and released it as our new single this year, back in February.
Okay. Yeah, that was a very, very fitting tribute as well. We're sorry about your folks and everything, but I mean, that was really heartfelt as well, too. And we encourage you to do that. So we
My
have
dad
that.
was my dad is my superhero in all of it. He continued to be her caretaker. He I know it sounds kind of silly, but he learned how to cook during it all. He wouldn't let my sister and I, you know, disable them. He was like, no, and he would cook their meals and he would, do it all for her. And he hid a lot of things from us because he wanted to protect her dignity. And so my sister and I were over there doing as much as we could, but he's my superhero. He really was the caretaker and went through a lot and protected his wife. He loved her so much.
And certainly amazing as well, too. And having people like that. And of course, we talk about Mess Up World as well, too, which is like our current state of it. And tell us more about that.
So Messed Up World, Tommy and I wrote this. We wrote this back. It's on our Break These Chains album, but we decided to re-release it as a new single this year. We hadn't released it as a single before, but it was so timely with what's going on and how it emerged. A friend of mine one day, a few weeks ago, was on Facebook with me, and he was over in England, and we were chatting, about politics and everything. And he said, Tia, you guys really need to write a song about this, how people need to stand up and really let their voices be heard. This is no time for us to sit back and be silent. So I said, well, we have the perfect song. And so we dusted it off and released it as a new single. And so it's just come out this week, and Tommy's created a beautiful video of it. You can find it on YouTube. It's called Messed Up World. And it's really, I wanted this to be for the kids, for the kids who are out there letting their voices be heard. They're our future. We just did a Songs and Tales event at a local bookstore for March break. And the kids, a beautiful, diverse group of kids, and their parents and their grands, all listening to our songs and singing along and listening to my story, Jake the Road Dog. And afterwards, they all lined up to go do the crafts together. There was no pushing, there was no shoving, there was no name calling, there was no belittling. Like I said, just a beautiful, diverse group of people. And I looked at one of the grandparents and I said, now, if only adults could learn this. And he said, aren't you right? So that's kind of our message, that we need to stand up and fight for our democracy, fight for our core beliefs and our freedoms.
And don't be a next silent generation. That was back in the 1910s, 1920s, or something like that. So
Right.
So don't let that happen. You're right. So I think it's
Yeah.
very important. Yeah. And where can we find Avalanche, Mess Up World, and all your works at, Tia?
Well, you can find all of this, our music page, our gigs. We have a podcast show called Songs and Tales, and you can listen to that. It's all on my website at tiamcgraff.com, and that's MCGRAFF, as in Frank.com. And all my links to my socials are on there as well. I'd love to chat with you. We love to get emails. We love to get messages, feedback. You can buy my book on there. You can buy our music on there. You can buy our merchandise on there. Like I said, listen to our podcast show, and just say hi. And we have our tribe is all over the world, and we're so delighted.
And that's a good thing as well, too. We want everybody to check it out today with the multi-talented Tia McGraff, award-winning singer-songwriter with Avalanche, Messed Up World. We'll play at the end of the audio interview here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just a few more things. What else can we expect from you in 2025 and beyond?
Well, Tommy and I are getting back out there performing. We've started to fill up our calendar again. We're going to be playing for the MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers Candle Vigil in Toronto, coming up, and we've got just some new songs in the works. We've just written a song with Maestro Charles Cousins, who's a fantastic maestro, and we're recording that one. It's kind of a Disney-like song. I'm releasing my new book, In Your Dreams, Jake. We've got more podcast shows coming up. So we've got a lot coming up in 2025. So I invite you to follow us. Like I said, reach out to us. Let us know that you're liking what, or even some feedback. I'm taking an herbology course online, so I'm welcoming people who have feedback about gardening or seed planting. All kinds of stuff.
Oh, that sounds like fun! A great time to get out there and plant. So make sure you do that, guys, and take in nature, take advantage of everything. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
I would say my husband, Tommy.
Okay.
I've mentioned earlier all the big name people, and Tommy should be right up there in my books. He is one of the most talented, beautiful human beings I've ever met, but he has also influenced me by keeping me going every day. He shares a little spark of light into what we do. He just keeps encouraging me to be the artist, and he's so supportive of my book, my author writing. So I would say Tommy. And not to mention, like I said, he is just one of the most incredible songwriters I've ever. He sits there and plays the guitar and has melodies pouring out of him, 5 a day. And I'm like, oh my goodness, so.
Wow, that had to be a lot. Plus the songwriters you mentioned, and the one I was thinking of that had a hard time, Terry Clark. That was the name of it. Another
oh yes, Terry Clark.
Terry Clark is I thought 6 foot, and I thought, what was that again? It's like Terry Clark. Now that was the other one I was trying to think of.
Yes, amazing Terry Clark. Yeah. Yeah.
That's right. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
I would say be yourself, find your voice. Like it's all about telling our own story, isn't it? That's what people want to hear. A lot of times, especially when you're first starting out and you're gathering a team around you, you will have people that try to tell you, oh, you should be like this, or you should sound like this. Don't buy into that. Be yourself. And surround yourself with those people who encourage you to tell your own story, who encourage you to be authentically you. There's no one who can tell a story like you can about yourself, your journey. And that's what people connect with. When they hear the connection, the soul connection that, yeah, you've been through something that I'm going through right now, and this person is telling something that I can't express, maybe in words or in song, but they're helping me express it. That is the gift that you're giving people as a songwriter or as an artist.
And I think that's very important as well, too. It's really amazing. We're the multi-talented singer-songwriter based outside Toronto, Canada, award-winning Tia McGraff here on the Mike Wagner Show. Tia, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely fantastic. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Glad to have you back. And once again, what's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
Absolutely, Mike. This has been just a blessing. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
And your website?
And the website is tiamcgraff.com.
TiaMcGraff.com. We want everybody to check it out. Once again, Tia, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Learned a lot. Looking forward to having it soon. Keep us up to date. Keep in touch. Glad to have you back. We wish you all best. And Tia, you definitely have a great future ahead of you.
Thank you, sir. Have a great day, everyone.
Light is dying, shadows falling. I know you're scared, don't worry, I won't go. Life can be so uncertain. It only takes a pebble in the snow to start a landslide, shake the ground, and you can't find your way home now. Forget my face and who I am, but I'll remember cascade of rolling memories. Thunders down the mountainside, there's still a chance. When love is all but buried, I'll be the branch in your avalanche. You were brilliant, loving, teaching, knew all the constellations in the sky. We'd talk for hours before the sundown brought us to this place, the long goodbye. But as a landslide takes control, I won't let it cover up your soul. Forget my face and who I am, but I'll remember everything. I'll hold your hand when the cascade of rolling memories thunders down the mountainside. There's still a chance. When love is all but buried, I'll be the branch in your avalanche. Forget my face, forget who I am, but I'll remember everything. I'll hold your hand when the cascade of rolling memories thunders down the mountainside. There's still a chance. When hope is all but lost, I won't give up the search. When love is all but buried, I'll be the branch in your avalanche. They'll never understand the way kids feel today. If they did, they blame it on us anyway. The road's so twisted, there's no telling what we'll find. Cleaning up the garbage that's been left behind. Yeah, it's a messed up world. Every boy and girl gotta stand up and fight back for more of what we like in this messed up world. Messed up world. Yeah. Well, maybe I'll just sit and stare my thoughts away. Imagine rocks and trees and somewhere safe to play. Politics, religion, and the guns they sell could never make me buy that river ride to hell.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, this is Eric Diamond. You're listening to the Mike Wagner Show. You can check out our music and know all about us at www.ericdiamondmusic.com. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, TikTok. You can friend me on Facebook. You can follow me on Facebook, and you can even buy both of my albums off of Facebook. Just get a hold of me on the Facebook Messenger. We have them available in CD or thumb drive. Thank you so much and hope you have a great day.
Hi, I'm Burl Bear, legendary American author, and I'm here to tell you about Missing, the new mystery suspense novel by Mian Mohsen Zia. It's really a good book. Very surprising. Never a metaphor I didn't like, especially in this book. Here you have a main character whose life has been filled with despair. His wife died in 9/11. His young daughter died of a rare disease. He's not a happy camper. What does he do for a living? He's a physical fitness trainer. When somebody hardly knows, somebody he's never met, he only has encountered them on an internet chat line, goes missing. This is his journey. He's going to go rescue them. This is his search for redemption, his search for his own personal promised land. He couldn't do anything about the death of his wife, the death of his child, but maybe he could rescue this woman he's never met. That is, if she exists. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, international in scope, vastly entertaining, full of surprises. I suggest you get it, either paperback or an electronic edition for your Kindle. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia.
The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Serena Wagner's book, The Sweet Psalmist, now available on Amazon. This book includes 30 exquisite paintings by well-known and unknown painters and King David Psalms. The Sweet Psalmist gives us a new perspective on his life in this book. Through the Psalms he wrote, his time as a shepherd in the field is where the book starts, and it goes on to describe his complicated and turbulent relationship with King Saul as well as other events. It's a story of love, betrayal, repentance, and more. It also offers advice on approaching God and living a life that pleases him. Check out the book, The Sweet Psalmist by Serena Wagner, now available on Amazon. Keywords, Sweet Psalmist, Serena Wagner.
Thanks for listening to The Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.